It really does suck to be a melee class, man. I don't know what to tell you. Roll it. Hey there and welcome back to the channel. Before we dive into today's topic, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell to stay updated on all my content. And hey, if you really want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. Navigating the world of Neverwinter in Dungeons and Trials as a melee class has always been like walking a tightrope with a blindfold on, especially when compared to the seemingly breezier existence of our ranged counterparts. It's not just about being in the thick of the action, it's about practically being up the boss's butthole, who, let's be honest, doesn't exactly smell like roses. The real kicker is that most of the boss's damage is concentrated in his immediate vicinity, which is our designated stomping grounds. The struggle started and took a quantum leap around the time of Master Temple of the Spider. Suddenly, we found ourselves tiptoeing around explosive barrels, dancing on the edge of one-shot attacks from the bosses, and playing hopscotch with red circles under the bosses. Attempting to get close enough to deal damage quickly became risky as fuck, often ending in melee classes running away like bitches due to the perilous sea of red circles that not only threatened us with free tickets to the campfire, but also severely ruined our damage potential as well. It felt like a perpetual dodgeball game where the stakes were life or death. While our ranged counterparts certainly face challenges of their own, it's a far cry from the high-stakes acrobatics that melee classes have to perform. Ranged attackers can unleash their havoc from the comfort of a safe distance, while we find ourselves in a constant adrenaline-fueled sprint for survival. The glaring difference has become more than apparent in the latest modules. Group leaders in a strategic move that's hard to fault are actively swerving away from melee classes. It's not personal, it's a survival tactic. Opting for a lineup of wizards, rangers, and warlocks over a rogue or barbarian seems like a no-brainer when the trials in dungeons are way easier to complete with them instead of us. I remember when I was chasing the web hacker achievement, a group with 3 melee DPS classes struggled significantly more, where wizards, warlocks, or rangers operated with relative ease. It's not like I'm critiquing the ranged classes. It's not even their fault and they're simply playing to their strengths. The issue lies in the design of the newest dungeons and trials, which regrettably appear to favor ranged classes, leaving all the melee classes grappling with adversity. The preference for ranged classes has become so apparent that the mere presence of a melee class in a group might not just raise an eyebrow but actually piss them off altogether. Being a melee class in the latest trials and endgame content doesn't seem to offer the most enjoyable experience. It's not about asking for an easy ride, but rather a fair playing field where melee classes aren't actively excluded from groups just because of their close quarters combat style. Gear, rings, and weapons are essential for melee classes too, and it becomes quite a challenge to obtain them when the demand in trials leans heavily towards the ranged classes. Finding a solution may not be straightforward, but a good starting point would be to balance the level of risk between ranged and melee classes. Creating a more balanced experience ensures that melee classes can contribute meaningfully without facing exclusion or being overlooked when assembling groups. It's all about recognizing and valuing the strengths of both ranged and melee classes, and not preferring one over the other. I mean, look at the screenshot. Ranged classes for days. I mean, this isn't always the case, but it's always more ranged than it is melee classes, and it's definitely the preference. So let me know what your experience has been like as a melee DPS. Do you find it annoying or even difficult to get into completion groups? And if so, what would you think can or would fix the problem? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, I'll be back soon. Take care.